Meat is one of the most eaten things in the world due to its long-standing history and variety of ways it could be made and served. However, one of the major things people tend to ignore when consuming it is the significant environmental downsides it can have. Animals require a lot of food, nutrients, soil, and land just to even be kept alive. Because of this and the fact that they are living creatures, it brings up plenty of moral and ethical reasons to kill them, especially due to the amount of resources needed to keep them alive just so that way they can be slaughtered later on. There's also the factor of greenhouse gases, or GHGs for short, are gases in the Earth's atmospheres that are trapped heat. Since during the day, the sun will shine through the atmosphere, warming up the Earth's surface. But at night, the surface will cool down, releasing heat back into the air. But a remainder of that heat remains trapped by the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which then keeps the Earth's temperature at average 14 Celsius or 57 Fahrenheit. Now you might be asking, what are the effects of greenhouse gases? Well, greenhouse gases do act like the glass walls of a greenhouse, which is why they have the name. Without the effect of greenhouse gases, temperatures would drop to as low as -4 Fahrenheit or 18 Celsius, which is too cold to sustain human life, or just any life in general. But despite the positive effects, human activities are changing Earth's natural greenhouse gas effect with a much more dramatic one, which scientists agree are increasing global warming, or climate change as some may prefer to call it. Which this has been happening since the Industrial Revolution. Humans have been releasing larger quantities of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. In the past century alone, that amount has increased dramatically, with a knockout effect of global warming. Global temperatures have escalated in the past 30 years and are now the highest since records have began. The meat industry contributes about an extra 65% of this. So the question is, what can we do to solve this? Or is there anything that can be done? Well, the answer to both is yes. Now, this is an idea that we've already seen being put into practice, and that is commonly-ish available, that you can find at certain stores. Hell, some restaurants even sell it. It is plant-based meat, which is, as the name would suggest, meat made from plants. Now, plant-based meat has benefits for your health, the environment, and because of it being made out of plants, you do not need to worry about the fact that you would be killing animals if you eat plant-based meat. And it has infinitely less greenhouse gases compared to meat-based meat. It is overall a better product in terms of health for yourself and the planet. Now, despite all of the advantages that plant-based meat has, there are a few issues people have with it. Mainly texture and how it tastes. Now, this leads to the question, if people have a problem with the way it tastes, then is there a way to get around that? Well, with the way plant-based meat is made, there's no way that you could use plants to alter the texture or taste of it. So it would taste the same way it is if you use plants exclusively. However, there is a solution currently now in the works that is very promising. Lab-grown meats. For those wondering how lab-grown meats are made, first you take a staple of stem cells from any animal, be that chicken, cow, pig. Then you will take those stem cells and cultivate them into an environment that is filled with nutrients for them. Then the muscle, fat, and connective tissues will grow in there, and boom, the cells will become separated and arranged to build a meat. Now you might be wondering what I am suggesting with these two grown options of meat, plant and lab grown, both of which have the same benefits of lowering greenhouse gases. What am I possibly suggesting we do with both of these options? Well, I'm not suggesting the simple option of just having these become the main options and have both of them at once, although that would work. No, I'm suggesting something even further into the future, something a bit more outlandish. I am suggesting
Fusion.
by fusing the two meats, you would have the best of both worlds. You would have all of their shared benefits being the lower greenhouse gases and the health benefits that they give you, along with getting rid of their biggest downsides. We've already been over Impossible Meat's biggest disadvantage, or just any plant-based meat in general, the texture and taste of it. But with this lab-grown meat, that disadvantage would be a thing of the past. And lab-grown meat's biggest disadvantage is the fact that it takes a while to produce in large quantities. If only 20% of it is being used in my now proposed 80% 20% blend, then we would not have to worry about that, because if only 20% is being used, that means just 1 pound of meat could be used 5 times for 1 pound of everything. So just 1 pound of lab-grown meat could contribute to 5 pounds of the meat total, because 80% of it would be plant-based meat. Both issues that these two have are now dealt with by mixing them together. Now, this idea, as of right now, is purely theoretical, but I believe that with the science we know, there is nothing that says it wouldn't be plausible to sustain, maintain, and would have any real negative downsides. I also believe it does bring up the same values of meat, not just being taste and texture, but customizability, as it is currently possible to make plant-based meat at home, grinding up your own different amount of vegetables, and you can customize it just a little bit. So nothing is truly lost, animals get to live, and we are lowering the amount of greenhouse gases. I truly believe that this fusion between both artificial lab-grown meat and plant-based meat is going to be the future of meats. My name is Seeds of Meat, and that is all there is for today.